Good morning, everyone. I know it's really early in the morning, but it's a privilege to have Ify to join us today. And I want to welcome you again to Talk to Connect. As usual, we invite people who inspire us, empower us, and allow us to find our own purpose, our own journey. The purpose for Talk to Connect is to always allow you to see that everybody has a story, everybody has a journey. And whenever you see someone is successful, someone is making it, someone is trying, there's a story that pushed that person to be there. And by them sharing that story is to allow you to find your own way and your own purpose. So I still want to welcome you today for another amazing interview with an amazing person. He's been doing a lot of things. He's an inspiration to a lot of us who are trying to grow, who are learning to grow, and he's doing a lot of things. If you want to take this time to thank you so much. I know you're busy and you made time to join us today. So I want to welcome you on our platform, Talk to Connect.
Thank you so much, Fatima. It's an honor and privilege to be here, reaching out to your own audience. I'm really hoping to have fun today. It's been a while I've been on any live interview, couple of weeks since this year. So I'm really super excited. We're doing a lot of growing, a lot of growth going on. So it's a good moment to share experiences. And also those will be at the comment section. I can't wait to see your own experiences. So I want you to participate. All right. We do this together, right? So Fatima, thank you so much for having me. I'm really an honor. And I want to appreciate you for the good job you're doing. Trust me, you are doing an amazing job. People are getting inspired. Just don't stop. So I'm excited to be here today.
Thank you so much. So Ify, I know a lot of people have seen you on Facebook, and I think I learned about you through Facebook, and you're doing a lot of things. And people see, when they see you, they see success and they see that you're doing a lot of things. But there's a journey that took you there. So if you will introduce yourself and tell people who Ify is and that journey that took you to be here today, to be this inspirational to other people.
Well, I think for me, if he's just a regular guy like every other person who decided to be extraordinary in adding value, not just to my life, but to people around me. So the whole journey of me being inspirational, motivational speaking and all that started about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, thereabout. Even though before now had the instinct, I knew I had what it takes to really be where I am right now and even do more. But this is not how I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And it shows what growth can do. And if you're aware, just my daughter is about 10 months right now, going to 11 months. And what interesting thing I've seen is the magnificent growth in her life. And when I analyze this growth, I find out that this growth happened because we were following instructions, we were meeting our doctor's appointment, we were giving appropriate food when we were supposed to give, all these things coupled up with her growth. And that taught me a lesson. If in 10 months, a little girl can grow like that, with all the knowledge, with all the ideas she has, with developing personalities, how much more will you take, you and I, adult, invest in 1 year to grow? And I tell people, imagine reading a particular book of a particular genre every 1 hour for the whole year. You would have become an expert in one thing. So I think growth is conscious. It has to be deliberate and conscious effort to invest in yourself. So my story, if I started today, Fatima, trust me, we are not going to leave here. But I'm so thankful for the people who have kickstarted my journey, people like Les Browns, and these are people who gave us so much inspiration, people like Dr. Miles Monroe, who are still inspiring us from the grave. That is how incredible one is. And I think this is what I'm aspiring to get to, where even when you are gone, you are still inspiring people. And someone says something that the world today is being ruled by dead people. Look around you. Everything you have around you, mostly we are invented by people who are not with us no more. But the idea is still going. And that is what it means to go after your purpose and go after your passion. So putting all these things in perspective, I decided, hey, I need to start investing in myself. I need to start becoming who I believe I'm born to be. And trust me, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I wasn't like this. I was camera shy. The first time I went live, oh Lord, I was sweating, and people did not understand why I was sweating. People thought I was just in my feelings, bringing all those fires, but I was so anxious. I was so right, but I had to overcome it. And that was how I started investing in myself. And I started applying for programs like Les Brown's Power Academy, programs like Tony Robbins, programs like Jay Shetty, all these things, the growth had to be deliberate and conscious. So if anybody's looking at me right now and said, okay, maybe the things you post on Facebook, or how did you get those quotes? How did you get all these things? It comes from just being deliberate about it. And that was what I did. And so far, so good. I'm still growing. I'm still want to get to know more. A whole lot I don't know yet. So that is why I keep trying to hang around with people who are living in my future. And I think it's important that you hang around with people who are already living in your future so that you can learn from them.
Oh, that's amazing. I think growth is not an easy thing, as you
Mhm.
say. And a lot of people, when they see someone has grown, they feel it's an easy thing, but it's a process. So you've talked a lot about belief. You've got to believe in yourself. And a lot of people, when you hear them talk, they say, nobody's going to come and take you out of that problem that you're in, or nobody's going to come and push you to start something. But it is not easy. And especially when we talk about beliefs, because I can say this because it's something that has been my problem, believing in who I am and what I'm capable of doing. And I know how difficult it is. So if we talk about beliefs and you say breaking your belief and having that confidence, what are the things that you can share with someone who's watching you right now and say, this is what helped me? Because I think a lot of people have different things that helps them to break their beliefs system. But what helped you as a fee, and what are the things that you say you change in your life, or you did differently that helped you break all those barriers, like, I don't think I can do it, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough education, and all these things, because a lot of people complain about what is happening around them rather than seeing what they have inside them to do what they can do.
Okay, so I'm just gonna be real, because what we're doing today is not just motivation. We have to put some principles down to help us grow. So first of all, I tell people that if you are feeling inadequate right now, it's probably because you are inadequate. And we're not going to sugarcoat it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is okay. Nobody's born expert. We learn things. So if you have the feeling of being inadequate, it's probably because you are inadequate. Now, one of the fastest way to grow confidence is to be competent at something. And here's the thing. For me, I think what helped me is stepping into my zone. Everybody has a zone. It's unfortunate that we are living in a world where it is harder to become ourselves and easier to become someone else. So if you watching me right now, oh, okay, I want to do what Ife is doing. I want to become like Ife. It is easier for you because the society has made it that way. But it has become harder to be your authentic self because you have the fear of being rejected. You are not sure if they're gonna accept you or not. And that is the problem. The number one thing you want to do if you have to build confidence, if you have to change your orientation, is to understand who you are, how you are made, and be in it. Being your authentic self is the number one process. It's unfortunate, like I said, everybody want to be somebody else because the society has made rules. There are two things that will happen when you start becoming your authentic self. One is people will love you. Two, people will hate you. But you don't want to concentrate on those who hate you because it doesn't matter what you do, people are going to hate you regardless. So when you discover who you are, you start walking in your authentic self. That is when you get the confidence, because I believe everybody's born uniquely. Now, that's what the scientists have called it the brain belt. The brain belt is an energy efficient, is a natural benefit that comes with your birth. This is why some kids in school are good in biology, others are good in mathematics, others are good in English. It depends on how their brain band functions. If you as an adult are able to identify your own brain band, it gives you energy efficient, proficiency in one particular area. Now remember, the world is not looking for people who knows everything. The world is looking for someone who knows everything about a particular thing. And every individual, it doesn't matter where you are, who you are, where you are born, there is something uniquely designed about you. There is a particular thing that only you can bring to this universe. Listen, I know it doesn't mean that there is an invention only you have to bring, but there's a way you do things. There's a way you talk. There's a way you produce. There's a way you work. Everything around you is fashioned for a purpose. All right, everything. And I keep telling people that we are messengers sent by God. There is a message inside of you right now. The world is waiting. There is something special, something unique, deliberately, consciously packaged, designed for you. And I think this is why Dr. Miles Monroe said that the grave being the richest place in the world right now, because everybody is running after the societal norms. Why right now there's a book inside of somebody right now. There is a song yet to be composed. There is parastatals yet to be built. There is a shoe industry in somebody right now, but the person is not being himself. The person is thinking rejection. The person is thinking what people are going to do, how they're going to laugh at him. Or I tell people, they're already laughing at you right now. So you might as well go after your dream and let them laugh at you. So the next thing you want to do is identify your own brain band. What do you have an advantage over? There is something. There is something. When you take your time and sit down, there is something that gives you joy. There is something that gives you flair. When you identify those things, you start investing. I think the problem is we are not doing our best in anything we choose to invest in. And it's a problem for a whole lot of people. Whatever thing you're doing right now, think about it. There are millions of people that want what you want. What do you do when there are millions of people pursuing what you are pursuing? You are not the first. You are not the last. So doing your best is very important. And when I read this book, The Four Agreement, it makes me to understand that your best doesn't have to be the best. Your best is your best. It's not anybody's best. So Fatima's best don't have to equate my best. No. And this is why a lot of people feel depressed, feel guilty, because we know we are not doing our best. When you do your best, regardless of the outcome of the result, you don't feel guilty. But when you do it haphazardly, you know within you that you have more to achieve. Like Nelson Mandela would say, there is no joy in living a life that you know you are more than capable. You are greater than capable. And a lot of people right now watching you, you know that you are more than the life you're living right now. You know there is something much more on the inside. But we are being lazy about it. We are being lackadaisical about it. It's not going to fall from heaven and come to you. You got to make that move. You got to make that move. The things we need for the second stanza of our life is in the first step. If you must grow, if you must develop that confidence, you need to leap and grow your wings on your way down. There are no two ways about it. You got to take risk. You got to take risk. Nobody for sure knows what is going to happen. Nobody for sure knows if you're going to succeed or not. But like someone said, you will miss 100% of the shot that you don't take, all of them. So if there is something in your heart right now, if there is something you want to go after and you are being skeptical, and it's okay. It is okay to be skeptical. It is okay to be afraid. And these are the things that everybody has gone through in life. Think about it. Every successful person, every business will go, every entrepreneur, every president, every mayor, every governor, everybody you think that is a successful person right now has gone through it, and is the urge to quit, the urge to say, I can't continue no more, the urge to do other things. So I tell people, there is always someone out there who will not believe in you. Just make sure that person is not you. Because a lot of people are their own greatest sabotage. You sabotage yourself. You criticize yourself. You tell yourself that you're not good enough. You have to stop changing your mindset. And the fact that you change your mindset right now doesn't mean that things are going to just automatically change. Challenges will still push you, but those challenges are strategies to develop you. Those challenges are strategies to take you from the place you are right now to the place you need to be. Because every dream must be tested for authenticity, every dream. And the universe, when you go through those challenges, the universe has not come to take away those challenges. They have come to test it, to know how authentic it is, to know how believable it is, to know if you are actually the one that I believe God sent to manifest those gifts. So to develop confidence, know who you are, know your strength. Everybody has a strength. And when I talk about strength, don't think so wide, okay, what is my strength? Because sometimes your weakness can be your uniqueness. So take your time, reevaluate. What are my strengths? What am I good at? And then you start investing in those things. Personal development is fast becoming probably the #1 industry in the world today, personal development. So you need to invest, you need to read, because every problem that you're facing right now, the solution is in a book that you have not read. Every problem. And some time ago, someone asked me, say, Ify, all these quotes you put out, where do you get it? I say, in a book that you are not reading. There is always an information. And when you start up the journey of personal development, when you start it will push you to the things that will interest you. Right now, you might not know. You might not know where to invest, how to invest. Just start. When you start, your interest will naturally draw you to the things you need. So back to your questions, one way to grow confidence is to be competent at something. Second of all, understand who you are, your strength, concentrate it. Don't stop working. I tell people, if you have extra time, especially students, when I speak to students, don't try to invest so much time on things you're not really good at. Don't try to invest so much time on subjects you're not really good at. What you want to do is invest extra time on the ones you're really good at. You can't be good at everything. Like I said, the world is looking for someone good at something specific. So if you must get there, the personal development is important. If you decide today that every single month you're going to read 1 or 2 books on personal development every single month, and that's one of the things we're doing on Scripted Voices. We are reading books every month. If you decide that on a particular genre, that every single month you read 2 books, in a year, you have read nothing less than 15 books on a particular thing. And you be confident about yourself. Because when you know that you know, it gives you confidence. All right. So these are the personal steps I took to growing my confidence and believing in myself.
Wow, that's amazing. I think that is a very powerful way of seeing things. But I like what you said about your dreams. Every dreams has to be tested if it's authentic. And I think a lot of people forget that when you fail, it's not that you don't know what you're doing. It's a learning and it's a lesson. And when you're tested, it gives you the power to become a better person. Thank you for sharing that. So
Yeah.
I believe this in life, there's something that drives somebody to go and do something. There's that point when you reach in your life and it's like a breaking point and you say that this is it. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to find something that is going to lift me up. So what was your breaking point? What would you say that it was the one thing that just took you from, I'm not settling anymore. I'm not going to settle anymore in life. I just have to find what I'm good at and become the best in it.
there's something Les Brown said. He said, some things you have thought, some things you caught. And I believe you're asking me my cutting moment. So
Yeah.
some time ago, I've shared my story several times. Some time ago, back in Nigeria, when I was really, really young, about before I was a teenager. So I went to this church, and it was one of the Orthodox churches. And if you are familiar with Africa, Nigeria, and Christianity back in the 80s, the church was so powerful, and they decide what happens in the society. They respect these men of God so much so that what they say overrides even what decisions the families take. So I was sitting in this church, and this Reverend Father came in and he said, "Oh, any man or anybody that is born out of wedlock will never amount to anything." And mind you, as a young chap, as of that time, my father wasn't there. My mom was still at home. So I could be someone that was called then, someone that is born out of wedlock. So it was sounding like I didn't hear what he said. And he said again that if you are born out of wedlock, you will never amount to anything. And immediately, and this is what the book I just talked about, the Four Agreement, talks about. The first thing it talks about is domestication. Immediately, I was domesticated into believing that I will never amount to anything. And that thing ruled my life academically, socially, otherwise. My self-estimation, if there was any before them, went from whatever it was to -0. I didn't see myself as a value-oriented individual. I didn't believe I could amount to anything. Each time I failed an exam, I will remember what that man said. Remember, these are people that we hold at a very high esteem. So whatever thing they say is so important. That is why it is so important to mind what and who you're listening to. They would influence you. Who are the people you hold at a very high esteem? Their words become so important. So I started living my life that way, believing that I will never be anything in life, believing that I'm useless, believing that I'm worthless. And I went through this in my struggle through my university and my high school and all those things. So one day I was walking on this corridor, and I heard a message, and the person said, never allow people's opinion. No, say you don't have to allow people's opinion to become your reality. And that hurt me. I'm like, So I went back, I told the guy, I said, hey, man, who was that? He said, man, is this American motivational speaker? Then I didn't know what motivational speaking was, but I just know I was inspired by that word. I said, what is his name? He said his name was Les Brown. I said, oh. I said, can you rewind again? And he rewinded what he said, and that really got me. Okay, as of this time, I didn't have no good phone for YouTube. I didn't have no laptop. So what I did then, I had to get a flash drive. So I copied the message from him. Anywhere I go, I would say, hey man, can I just listen for 5 minutes with this message I have? They would tell me, oh, I don't have no battery. I said, just 5 minutes. And I know the time where he said what he said. So I will fast forward it to that period because I know what I wanted to hear. The more I hear it, the more I have this re-evaluation and reorientation of my mindset. So I keep doing it every single day. And then I started introducing myself to other speakers like Dr. Miles Monroe. So I started bringing all those messages. So every time I listen to it, it gets to a point. That place I told Lesbian, I said, I thought some things you caught. I caught it. I said, today, I will not allow this man's word to rule my life anymore. And that was how I took that decision. Right from that moment, I started believing in myself. Never allow somebody's opinion, somebody's ideologies, somebody's belief system to influence and affect me. And I think that was the breaking point. At that point, I started seeing myself as valuable individual. It doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter what they say. I believe in myself. And I believe there might be people right now watching us, and these things could be what our parents have told us. It could be what family members have told you. It could be what a co-worker has told you. It could be anything. But the reason why those things were affecting me was because I believe in them. I believe in them. I came in agreement with that word that I wasn't going to amount to anything. So if you're that kind of person, you're listening to me right now, I want to tell you this one thing. People's opinion about you do not have to become your reality. No, you are specially made by God. You are made in the image of God. Nobody decide what you become. Nobody decide who you are. You are the only one that will decide how much you will take up your life, take up the responsibility of your life, and move on. So at that point, I decided, okay, this is what it's going to be. You are not going to ruin my life again. So I started doing. Now, this is very important. It is one thing to understand the breaking point. It is another thing to replace your mind with positivity. Now, the fact that I understood what was going on doesn't mean I am automatically going to start believing in myself. I need to start infusing and inundating myself with positive information to replace the negative information that have been in my subconscious mind. So the more I do that, the more I replace this information, and it gets to a point where my subconscious mind cannot even remember the previous information stored in the system. All it can remember right now is that I'm wonderfully made. All it can remember right now is that I have the power to overcome. All it can remember right now is that I have what it takes to go after my dream, go after my purpose, and realize my dream in the world. I think for me, that was my turning point, if I can use that word.
That is really powerful. Thank you for sharing. I think for me, I will say my breaking point was realizing that I'm comparing myself with everybody else and not understanding who I was. That point of understanding who's Fatma and what do I want in life was just the breaking point for me. It was not like listening to what people are saying. It was just me going back to myself and asking myself, why am I not becoming like everybody else? Why am I the only one who feels like a failure, but everybody else can do? What am I lacking? And that question of going back and asking yourself, what am I lacking that is holding me back, just made me decided to go, like you, start reading books and start finding people, inspiration from other people. And taking from that point, and I think I'm going to ask, because you coming from Africa, we are surrounded by society and culture and a lot of things that sometimes, even if you move from Africa and come abroad, you come and find yourself not growing because you've moved physically, but mentally and emotionally you're still back home, and you're still struggling in that circle of struggling of not growing, and you keep on asking yourself, why am I not growing? Why am I not changing? Even if I'm not back in Africa and I was told if I moved. So how much would you say, and I'm going to talk about mastermind, would you say it helped you just grow from changing that mindset of, I'm not going to settle, but I'm going to find my life, and it doesn't depend on what people think of me at home and how they describe how we are supposed to be? Because most of us, and I'm talking from experience, that we are abroad or we live back home, but your mentality does not change. You're in America, but you're still living in Nigeria mentally.
I think the change of environment, I would say it really helped me. First of all, this is why I believe our stories are different. Everybody has a different story.
Yes.
And my story might not be relatable to yours. So if I say coming to America, first of all, has really helped me, that doesn't mean that if I was in Nigeria, I wouldn't have gotten the help I have right now. I would have gotten it through another means. So I believe that everything that happens to you is your story. And that's why I said something like last week, that whatever you're going through right now, time will come when you'll be able to tell the story of how you overcame it. So everything you're going through right now, where you are, the good news, the bad news, everything is happening in your favor. It is just a present situation. And I keep telling people that where you are right now, it is not who you are. It is just where you are. So understand that your story is unique. So talking about me personally, I think coming here has really helped me in so many ways. I was able to do the program with Les Brown, which really exposed me a lot. I don't know if I was still in Nigeria. I probably could have done it somewhere else, but I can't talk about the things I would have done or the things I didn't do. So right now, I am only talking about the things I've done, the things I've seen work for me. So coming here had really helped me. And I really got exposed to meeting a lot of people with the same mindset, with the same thinking. The journey started in Nigeria, trust me. The journey started in Nigeria. I started my personal development in Nigeria, obviously. So coming here, it just gave me a broader perspective to know the cons and pros of people's way of thinking, imagination, and that helps me a lot. So when I go back home, I know how to think, I know how to talk. And when I come to the Western world, I also know how to think, I know how to talk. So every experience I have, I use it for my own favor. I use it as an advantage. So I have an advantage over someone who has never been to Africa. I have an advantage over someone, who is in Africa, who has never come to US and that kind of experience. So everything that has happened to me, I take it as an advantage I have and as an individual. And I believe that is working for my purpose. It is working for my mission. It's working for my dream. So it's not like coming to the state has given me everything I want, but I want to say it has given me the advantage. All I can see is my growth. All I can see is the positivity. All I can see is the manifestation of God's purpose in my life. All I can see is progress. So that is what I'm focusing on. So yes, changing environment has really helped me. It broadens my perspectives. I'm able to see different ideologies, belief systems, philosophies, religious perspective. All these things are the things, especially when it comes to public speaking and being an influencer, as it were, you gotta be able to balance things. Like someone said, you have to be able to know a little bit of everything, a little bit of every culture, a little bit of government, a little bit of science, a little bit of everything for you to be well-rounded. So I think for me personally, that's where I see an advantage in coming to the States and helping me in my career and my dreams.
That's amazing. So
Mhm.
um, I want to ask a question about lifestyle because I hear
Yep.
people talk about so much when you come and you go, you change your life and have lifestyle and you create a lifestyle that you want. Most of the people, when you talk about lifestyle, they relate lifestyle to material things. So, does lifestyle mean to you? Because for me, in this process and where I am right now, I realized lifestyle has nothing to do so much with material things, but it comes to the point of understanding who I am and doing the things that I want. Material things come as an extra bonus. So what would you advise people wherein there's this journey of finding lifestyle with associating it with so much with materialistically and not focusing on maybe what are the really important things that they need to find in the process of finding the lifestyle?
For me, I think lifestyle is doing what you love. That is lifestyle for me. I love right now. And here's the thing. I had this conversation with somebody. A lot of times people are putting themselves under this pressure of finding purpose. Oh, everybody's talking about purpose. I want to find purpose. But
Mhm.
I think purpose is not something you find. Purpose will find you. The number one thing people need to do is going after what they love, which is a passion. So the passion is is your gift. I would say the universe gives to you. Your purpose is your gift to the universe. First of all, you want to go after that passion. And that is where the life is. That is where your happiness is. When you do things you love to do. And a lot of times, people need to realize that your passion can change. Passion is a feeling, and this feeling can change. You have to know when the passion is changing. There's a lot of things I did last year, but I don't have the feeling to do them no more. There's some kind of feelings I'm having to do right now to create content, create short videos. I love those vibes I'm having around you right now. And it's so cool and I'm loving it. We're transition. And sometimes people are so quick to define themselves, tag ourselves some professional names. And when you tag yourself some kind of professional name so early, what happens is that you are jeopardizing your chances to evolve into the next thing God is calling you. Because I believe that sometimes what we have right now is a means to an end and not an end in itself. Sometimes we are so quick to just close the door. Oh, I am a speaker. I am that. I am that. No, you gotta leave the door open. When it's time to shut the door and say, okay, define yourself, you will know. But when you feel it, you feel that movement, you feel to evolve, you feel to do something else, please do it. Explore. The thing that makes you happy is the greatest lifestyle you can ever indulge in. So I want to encourage people, even though you're still working on your 9 to 5, you got to find time to do those things that give you joy. And someone said, I was watching this on TikTok. The guy said, a lot of times we tend to work on ourselves or work on our passions after the 9 to 5 job. And then most times we're already tired. He said, when you wake up in the morning, you want to go into your passion, the things you love to do. Do it for 1 hour, 2 hours, every morning before your day starts. Because when you come back from your 9 to 5, you are exhausted. Your ability to conceptualize ideas on those things becomes very slim. So, but the bottom line I'm trying to say is the greatest lifestyle is doing what you love doing. And you have to be sensitive to know when to start doing something else. All right. So I want to give you an example. The transition into, because someone asked me, he said, if how do I know when I'm supposed to move to the next thing, or I'm quitting what I'm doing because of frustration? Because the line is very slim. There's a difference between moving to the next thing and actually quitting what you love doing. So I tell people this: if you stop that thing you're doing, if you stop that thing you formerly believe was your purpose, was your calling, was your passion, if you stop it and you still don't feel no guilt, you stay happy, two things is either it was never your passion or it was just never meant to be. Because once you stop that passion, if it is God's calling, once you stop it, you will be troubled every night you wake up. Every morning you wake up, something ringing in your ear about, you'll be feeling guilty about it. That means that you are quitting. You are not transitioning to something else. But if you stop it, there is no guilt and you don't feel anything about it. Probably it's time for you to transition into something else, into another lifestyle, into another passion that I believe that God is molding you and trying to prepare you to it. So personally, my lifestyle is doing what I love, the passion, the enthusiasm, and the joy of doing it. And right now, I'm loving the joy of producing content. I'm loving it so much. I can be on the system editing videos all day. I don't get tired. And that is a passion I'm currently, finding myself. So you have to know that is where the lifestyle is. That's where the lifestyle is. If you find that thing you love to do and you keep doing it, that's the best lifestyle.
Thank you so much. I think that's very powerful. A lot of us forget that we have the passion inside us that is driving us, and we are looking for outside things that are going to fulfill us. So when you find your passion, and it's true, when you find something that you are really passionate about, you don't get tired. You will do it and overdo it, do it and do it, because you are enjoying and you're serving something, or you're doing something higher than what you expected of yourself. So thank you for sharing that. So I'm looking at what a lot of people want to change, and a lot of people want to grow, but there's so much, or a lot of people are trying to change, but there's so much noise. Like, there's so many people who are saying a lot of things, and there's a lot of learning out there. So how do you balance to just get that focus on? Because I think the most powerful thing for me that I've learned in this journey is to have focus and have that vision of where you want to go. So first of all, the first question is, how do you manage to focus, to have that focus to allow you to do what you want the best? And the second question I'll ask you is, how much would you say having your vision allowed you to grow and become the person that you are right now? Because for me, I'll say the most thing that changed my life is me having a vision. I was having goals and doing things, but I didn't have a vision of where I want to see myself in the next 5 years. It was like imagining that it's impossible even to imagine that I can do it. But when I started having a vision of who I want to become, it just created that desire of me becoming that person. So the first question I'll ask is about your focus. How do you manage to focus, to have that focus so that you can achieve what you want? And the second, how much would you say your vision built the person that you are right now?
So the first one is a very hard question. Not really hard to answer, but it's hard because that is what a lot of people are going through. I know a lot of people who want to grow. People really want to grow. People really want to change their lives. People really want to improve. But like you said, there's a lot of distractions, economic distractions, social distractions, family distractions. But here is the thing, everybody's going through it. And those who have been able to skate through are those who were focused long enough. And I want to relate this and tie this to consistency. And here's the thing, and I believe that consistency is not just doing something over and over. And I believe that consistency is doing one thing long enough until people who will help you or people who need you and need your services notices you. And it doesn't matter how good or bad you are, being consistent always pay. And this is what I said. This is what I said one of the interviews I had, because the person was asking, the person was saying, "Oh, I have so much passion. If I don't know which of my passions I'm gonna monetize. I don't know which of my passion I should put out there as a number one passion." And he said, "Oh, I'm thinking of doing this one because I really love this one so much." And I said, right there, that's a mistake. You don't want to go after what you love so much. You want to go after what you have discipline over. So I want to give you an instance, right? I just came back from soccer today before I came in for this interview. I love to play soccer, right? I love soccer a lot, but I do not have the discipline to train like other soccer players 3 hours every day, morning, afternoon, night. I don't have the discipline. If you call me 3 a.m. to go out for training, I'll be asleep. But when you talk about public speaking, purpose, discovery, speech related, inspiration, motivation, content, short videos, creation on motivation, wake me up 3 a.m. If you have an idea, I can stand up and share the ideas with you. You see, naturally, remember I talked about brain bend. Naturally, I have the natural gift and my brain bend is energy efficient in those things. So you want to find out, what do you have discipline over naturally? Naturally, what is that one thing that if they wake you up by 2 a.m., you are eager to contribute without thinking, without really processing it so much? So you want to concentrate on the things you have discipline over, because if you lack discipline, you will lack focus. The breakthrough is doing something long enough to be noticed. And for you to do it long enough, you need this focus. Because when you are not disciplined, focus becomes hard. All right, you want to do it today and tomorrow you do it, and then you scratch your head, you wonder what is going on. It is lack of consistency. It is lack of consistency. So you want to develop that shakazova, that strength of being consistent in something long enough. And then when people start noticing, when people start calling you out negatively or positively, it doesn't matter. When they start talking about you, it gives you a sense of direction. And so the thing that you want to do that thing until people start talking. That's a very important key. You want to keep doing it, because think about it. You need sometimes we say it's not about what people say, what people don't say, but that's not true. We need those encouragement. When you make a post and someone comes to your DM and say, hey man, that post you made saved my life. I was thinking about doing this, and encourage me. It makes you feel some type of way. It feels that there's something you're doing. You're contributing to someone's life. And that is what passion and purpose is all about. When you begin to understand that what you are doing is being impactful, when people start reaching out to you, start liking what you're doing, start loving what you're doing, it propels you, it motivates you, it gives you momentum to carry on. But between the space of nobody talking about you and then people noticing you, is called your silent years. This is where you need to put your butt down and work. Everybody's going through. Everybody you see that is a successful person right now has gone through it. It's a silent moment. It's like the Chinese bamboo tree that takes several years to go down. When you plant a Chinese bamboo tree, you don't see it sprouting up that in a year. It takes more than a decade to go down on the root. But when it starts coming up, literally in less than a few months, it grows so tall. And that is how it is when it comes to passion and purpose and personal development. Your silent years is the key. But unfortunately, a lot of us die in our silent years because we are not consistent enough. We are not focused enough to manifest this greatness that lies on the inside. Like I said, everybody has it. Everybody has it. But and there's so much competition in the world today. So much. So much. I want to take, for instance, those who are content creators. You're going to come out this morning and then you see somebody's creation so magnificent. And then you're thinking, how do I be this person? How do I do that? Sometimes you have to compete. That is the world we're living in. Think about it. There are millions of people who want what you want. What is your plan? What is your game plan, literally? When there are hundreds of thousands of people doing the same thing, what is your game plan? You have to up the game, right? Do whatever thing that you deem it necessary to continue. But like I said, the result of the outcome is not necessarily does not necessarily classify you as a failure or a success. Keep doing your best, and your best changes. Your best when you're healthy is different from your best when you're sick, but it's still your best. It doesn't have to be 100% all the time. As long as it's your best, that's what matters. So today might be 50%, tomorrow might be 30%, next tomorrow might be 80%. It doesn't matter as long as you are doing your best, all right? And then when you talk about how my vision has changed me, I mean, literally, that's the only thing that can change you. It is understanding your vision. And the more I grow, the more I realize, literally, money is not needed for your purpose. Money can be needed for your passion, but when it comes to that purpose, it's not about money. And that has really taught me a lot of things. I literally can wake up this morning and have a life of purpose, and I don't really spend a dime. So I think it has really changed my mind, changed my perception, changed my way of thinking, my philosophy, my ideologies. All these things have been changed because of my vision. And I tell people this: when you discover that vision, you are no longer in charge. And that's what the problem is. A lot of people are still trying to be in charge when they discover their purpose. No, like I said, the purpose found you. You didn't find it. Every idea you have as an individual right now, that idea found you because you have positioned yourself in a place to be found. The world works in vibrations and in sequence. So when you position yourself to be found, you did not find the idea. The idea found you because the idea and the visions believe that you are the best person they can use to manifest themselves. And for that idea to manifest, the idea already have principles. The idea already have guidelines you must follow, because two captains cannot sail a ship. Your idea is the captain. Your idea is the main man. So your idea and your vision and your purpose decide when you wake up. They decide what you eat. They decide your friends. They decide your career. They decide everything around you. Someone said that Martin Luther King didn't have a dream. The dream had him. You want to get to a point that you are enveloped by your vision. When you are enveloped by that vision directs you. That vision decides what course you take and what course you don't take. That vision decides where you go, the association you keep and the association you don't. You are not in charge anymore. All right. But the problem is that we're trying to be in charge. So you have to wake up by 6 a.m. for that meeting. You say, oh, okay, I'm tired. I'm going to wake up by 7. See, there's a contradiction. It becomes a problem. So I would say when you discover that thing that you really want to do, they run your life. And don't think it's a stress in Easton. They only came to you because naturally, they came to you because of your nomenclature. They came to you because of the brain band. Remember I said, it's in vibration. As I'm speaking to you right now, Fatima, there's an ideas all around us. Yes. The only time you decode those ideas is because there is something, there's a connection between you and the idea, naturally. I keep using the word universe, but when I say universe, I mean God. Everything, and that's why I tell people say, oh, I can't be what I want to be. But that's not true. You cannot be what you want to be. See, what you become is according to how you are designed.
Thank you so much.
When you are jealous about something, I made a post about jealousy and envy. And I said that envy and jealousy is nothing but a revelation of what you have the ability to become, but currently you lack the capability. Think about it. You can only be jealous about people who are better than you at something. You don't become jealous of people who you are better than. So it tells you there is something inherent in you. There's a connection attracting you to that thing that person is doing. It means that you have what it takes to become that. That's what it means. So I want to say that when you get enveloped by that idea, or when you think that when you see somebody and you feel, oh, like I don't care how much of a good scientist you are. I don't care how much of a good pilot you are. Billionaire, richest pilot, I can never be jealous of a pilot. Yes. I don't care. But if I see Fatima speaking at an event and there's so much accolades and people are talking about, man, I can do that. I should be the one doing that. See, there's a natural connection of what I have on the inside and what you do. So the next time you feel jealous, you feel envious, there is something inherent in you. You have the ability to become that thing. It doesn't matter how high and mighty is that thing. As long as you feel the way you feel, you got what it takes to become even much more, because that is how you've been designed. All right. So I believe how my vision has influenced me is because I allow my vision to lead me and not the other way around.
That is so true, and it's very powerful. When your vision starts leading you to become the person that you want, you just see things starting changing. You do think you will never imagine. I couldn't imagine I could sit and interview people and talk to people. It's something that I never thought I could do. But when you start finding that vision that allows you to see yourself, I think when you understand your vision, you start seeing yourself more, understanding yourself more, rather than wanting that outside affirmation. You start affirming to who you are more, and you start to becoming the person that you want to be more. Then you start building yourself. That's really powerful. Thank you for sharing that. So there's a young person in Africa who is having these excuses, and I call them excuses and reasons that we have. There's all reasons that we have in life that are holding us back. And I believe every reason that we have in our life is valid, but it doesn't help you change your life. So there's this young man or young girl who's watching you right now, and he's thinking, you made it. You can say whatever you're saying right now, but you've made it. I am in this place where I don't know if I can, or if I have the possibility of making it right now. What advice would you give them?
So first of all, nobody has made it. And whatever you're judging right now, most times people judge from what they see on social media.
Yes.
And social media is one place that will make you think that everybody is a success than you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is beautiful but you. Everybody is living a good life but you. But that's social media. Nobody comes here and posts their shortcomings. Nobody comes here and tell you their mistakes, their failures. And what brings sadness sometimes is that a lot of times we compare our behind the scenes with someone else's limelight. So when you see what Ife McCoy posts on social media, oh, he's looking flashy, he's looking that. And then you begin to judge that by your own experience, your own failures, your own rejections. But what you don't know is that I have my own feelings. I have my own rejections. I have my own failures. But I chose to focus on the things going well for me. And that's the thing I want to show you. I'm not going to be here showing the things that are not going well. Because when I do that, think about it. I'm just seeking for sympathy.
Yes.
And what is that going to do for me? So you have two options. Focus on what is going for you or focus on what is not going for you. And here's the thing. I don't care how bad it might seem right now. There is something that is going for you. There is something. And you know it. You know it. And it doesn't matter how bad things have become right now. You may not be where you want to be, but you are currently not where you used to be. And the society and the enemy will make you believe that you are having a better yesterday. No, you are not having a better yesterday. Tomorrow is always better. And as long as you can breathe, as long as you can see and hear me right now, it means that God is not done with you. But talking about excuses, like you said, there are genuine excuses out there. A lot of us, we are born in poverty. We have a lot of disadvantages around us, which is genuine. But I always ask these questions. No matter how genuine an excuse is, it never ceases from being an excuse. And that's the bitter truth. It is what it is. Okay, I understand that you were not born with silver spoon. Okay, so what do you want to do right now? Blame the world? You can blame the government, blame your parents, blame everybody from now to tomorrow. That will not change your life standard until you decide and say, this life of mine is mine. And you want to take up responsibility to change it by any means necessary. See, I'm not saying this to just motivate you. I'm telling you the truth that until you pick up the mountain of this life and say, this life of mine, yes, I did not ask my parents to bring me. Yes, I did not ask the government to bring me into the country I am right now. But what am I going to do from now onward? Because nobody's coming to help you. The government is not coming. The society is not coming. The politicians are not coming. Your parents are not coming. Nobody's coming to help you. If you have to make a U-turn right now, it's going to be solely your personal decision. Like someone said, you can blame your parents from now to tomorrow, but now it is your turn and the world is watching. What will your own children say about you? You can decide right now that I want to take a change in that journey of making a change. And I say this to people. When you start in this progression, you might not know the whole result. You might not have figured everything out. And nobody figures everything out at the beginning. It's one step at a time. You would discover somebody on the line that will help you to link you to someone that knows somebody, someone that knows somebody. That's how the journey is. So right now, I want you to get an open book. You see, as those books are empty, those exercise books, that is how empty that, to show you that nobody's owing you nothing. Nobody. The government don't owe you, president, nobody's owing you nothing. So what you gonna do? Blame everybody around you? I've never seen anybody whose life has been turned around by blaming other people. The more you keep blaming other people, the more you take away the power to change your life. I don't have no advice to give you. I don't have no place, no business idea to give you. But one thing I want to let you know is, if you must turn it around, it's on you and you alone. Fatima.
Thank you so much for that. And one of the mentors that I've been working with said something that was very powerful. He said, when he looks at people, the only question the only principle he has is, if they did it, they learned it. And if they learned it, I am capable of learning it as them because I'm not less than them. So if you see
Right.
somebody who's doing something right now, everybody put themselves there to learn. And if I
Mhm.
can learn, and if he can learn, and somebody else can learn, so you can learn, and you can become the person that you want. So don't wait for someone to come and tell you who to become. It's never going to happen.
Yeah,
So,
because if I have to add something real quick, is that
yeah,
people are not looking for those who are less privileged. For instance, nobody wants to employ you because you didn't have parents when you were growing up.
yes,
Nobody want to employ you because, oh, I had a poor background. Nobody does that. And it's the reality that we have in the world. Nobody does that. You don't get employed by sympathy. You get employed by competence.
yes,
And so it's left to you to be competent, to develop yourself by any means necessary. Like I said, it's gonna be by any means necessary. Like Martin Luther King would say, if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by any means necessary, do not stop moving. I don't know what country you might be. I don't know what situation you might be, but whatever thing it is, don't stop moving.
thank you so much. So before we continue, let me just thank you, the people who have joined us. Lillian asked, Lillian asked, where are you from? So I'm from Dubai, and if you're from where, in Texas?
Yeah, I'm originally from Nigeria, but I live in Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Kenya, but I'm in Dubai, and I want to thank you, Chika, for joining us today. And Chika says, I believe that the breaking of wrong belief is the most difficult thing to do, but at the same time, it's the only way out. Thank you for sharing that.
All
So,
right.
one more question before we finish. In 3 words, how would you define Ife?
Hmm. In 3 words,
Yes.
I would say in one word, inspirational. I think I think I have always been like that, but I never knew what it means. I remember back in the days in Nigeria. So sometimes when we go for church programs, I will be called to when they want to start praying and all that, do all that. I will be called to, get the people started to be in the mood. I think it's unfortunate that we have to get people to be in the mood when it comes to spiritual things. So we got to kick started, like how you on the engine and let it warm up. So just get people warmed up for the program and all that. So, but I knew I was never into any church thing or thereabout. But as I begin to grow and I realized that okay, uh, maybe I was being called to get people inspired, lifted, and all those things. So and I began to understand how inspirational I could be. And then people around me, sometime when we gather together, they say, "Oh, you're a very inspirational person." And I was okay, yeah, I think I heard that a lot. And so the more I grow in that, the more I understand who I am personally. And this growth does not mean that I don't have my own problems. Sometimes I need motivations too. And I even made a video about it that sometimes the unfortunate thing about being an inspirational person or a strong person is that people always think you got it figured out. And that's one thing with purpose. Your purpose is not for you, it's for the people. Your
Yes.
passion might be for you. Your purpose is for people. Like I said, your passion is the universe gift to you. Your purpose is your gift to the world. So when you're living in your purpose, it's not necessarily for your own benefit. It's for the benefit of others. Your passion can be for your own benefit. So I think in one word, I would say a very inspirational person, and I still love to grow. I still love to grow. Sometimes I could get overly competitive in my mind. I want to be the best at what I'm doing. And sometimes I struggle a lot seeing a lot of people who are far much ahead of me. I get sad sometimes. I mean, like, man, why can't I think better than this person? Why can't I? And I think it's just natural. It's natural because everybody want to be the best. A lot of times we're trying to make it sound nice. Oh, you don't. Sometimes you gotta compete, right? You gotta compete. I want to be the best. I have nothing against you, but I still want to be the best, right? We all want to be the best. So healthy competition, I guess, is one of the things you could use to describe me. But yeah, I would say I'm an inspirational individual.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I will agree, you're really inspirational. You really inspire. You are inspiring some of us who are growing and starting, and we are inspired to see other people who are really doing well. And at the same time, as you said, it's competition. You go like, oh, why can't I get as better or get to be as good as he is or as she is? And I think that competition makes you want to be more. So I want to thank everyone for being here today. If I want to thank you so much for taking your time. You've shared so much insights with us today. And for anyone who's watching, this platform is to always inspire you to find your own journey, because as if he could do it and I could do it, it means you have your own story. And if you unfold that story, find your learning, find the purpose, as if he said, and your vision, then you're going to have a journey that is your own. The purpose in bringing these stories to show people that different, everybody has their own story, and you don't have to be like anyone else. Open your own story. Start understanding your own story. It's scary. Sometimes we fear. Sometimes there's uncertainty. But then when you start, the moment you start unfolding things that you never thought you could do. So I want to thank you everybody for joining us, and thank you, Ify, so much for being
Thank
here
you so
today.
much. Thank you, Fatima. I really appreciate it. And thank you for everybody who has watched. If you want to go ahead and share the video for people on your timeline, that would be so great. So thank you so much, Fatima. I really appreciate you having me here tonight.
Bye. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
All right. Bye, guys.